Am I the a-hole for telling my husband I told you so and laughing at me when we got the paternity test results? Hey Reddit, I am in a bit of a weird spot and could use some outside perspective. It is about my husband, a paternity test, and a reaction that has caused a family uproar. I, Seth, and my husband, 28 millions, have been married for 2 years, and we just had our first child, a daughter, 5 weeks ago. Here is where things get complicated. Our daughter was born with blonde hair and pale blue eyes, which was a shock since both my husband and I have brown hair and eyes. My husband freaked out over her appearance. He would not listen to me when I said that babies sometimes are born with lighter features that change over time. He was convinced that she could not be his and demanded a paternity test, even threatening divorce if I refused. I was hurt, but agreed because I had nothing to hide. The whole situation escalated when my husband decided to stay at his parents' house for the first 3 weeks after our daughter's birth. He needed space, he said. Meanwhile, I was left alone to recover and care for our newborn. His mom called me, and let me tell you, it was not pleasant. She threatened me, saying that if the baby was not his, she would make sure I would regret it during the divorce. Thankfully, my sister was there to help me through this mess. Fast forward to getting the paternity test results. My husband comes home, and we sit down to read them together. The results are clear as day. He is the father. His reaction was something else: shock, disbelief, and then this mortified look. I could not help myself. Reddit. I said, "I told you so," and started laughing. It was more about the absurdity of the situation and his expression than anything else. But he did not find it funny. He got really angry, accused me of laughing at him, and we had a big argument, which ended when my sister came downstairs. He left shortly after to clear his head at his parents' place. A few hours later, my mother-in-law calls me, scolding me for laughing in his face, saying I was kicking him while he was down. She even sent some nasty texts echoing the same sentiment. Now, I am sitting here wondering if I was the asshole. I mean, I was right all along, and his reaction to the results was just so over the top. But maybe I should not have laughed. I am just so tired of being treated like the bad guy when I knew the truth all along. So, Reddit, am I the asshole here? I need some unbiased opinions because right now, my head is spinning from all this drama. Update. Hey Reddit, it is me again, the woman who laughed at her husband over the paternity test. Things have taken a wild and painful turn since my last post. So, after the whole paternity test debacle and my husband storming out, things were already strained. But what I found out next just blew everything up. A few days after the test results, I was gathering some of my husband's things he had left behind. That is when I found receipts and messages that confirmed my worst fear. He had been cheating on me. It all started during those weeks he stayed at his parents' house, around the time he doubted our daughter's paternity. I confronted him about it when he came to pick up his things. He did not deny it. Said he was convinced our daughter was not his, and that he felt betrayed. He sought comfort elsewhere, or so he claimed. I was just standing there, shocked and heartbroken. How could he do this to us, to our family? I called my sister immediately, and she came over. She has been my rock through all of this. I told her everything, and she was as furious as I was heartbroken. And then there is my mother-in-law. Remember how she threatened to take me to the cleaners over the paternity test? Well, when she found out about her son's affair, she was surprisingly quiet. I think she did not expect her perfect son to do something like this. She has not apologized for how she treated me, but her silence speaks volumes. I am now at a crossroads. Reddit. My husband's betrayal has shattered everything I thought we had. I do not know if I can ever trust him again, let alone continue our marriage. My daughter is too young to understand any of this, but I worry about how it will affect her. I have been talking to a lawyer, trying to figure out my options. My husband has been sending me messages, some apologetic, some angry, blaming me for laughing at him and pushing him away. I just do not know what to feel anymore. So, here I am, asking for your perspective again. Am I the asshole for laughing at him and possibly pushing him to cheat? Or is this all on him for not trusting me and our daughter? How do I move forward from this? Thanks for reading. Your support and advice mean a lot right now. Update. Back on Reddit with another update. And honestly, I wish things were looking up, but it's just a mess of emotions and decisions right now. After my last post, where I talked about finding out about my husband's affair, things have just spiraled. The emotional fallout has been intense. I swing between anger, sadness, and this numb confusion. It's like I do not even know the man I married anymore. My mother-in-law has been oddly supportive, which I did not expect. She has been calling me, not to apologize for her initial reaction, but to check in on me and my daughter. It's a strange turn of events, but I appreciate it in some weird way. As for my husband, we had another big talk. Well, more like a confrontation. I laid it all out, my feelings of betrayal, the hurt, and the uncertainty about our future. He looked defeated, full of apologies, but every sorry just sounded hollow. He wants to try counseling, to fix things. I am just not sure if there is anything left to fix. In the midst of all this, a new character has entered the scene, an old friend of mine, Jake. He reached out when he heard about what was happening. We have been talking a lot, and he has been a great support. But I cannot help feeling guilty, like I am emotionally leaning on someone else while still technically married. I met with a lawyer to understand my options. Divorce is on the table, but it's such a big step, especially with a young child involved. My sister thinks I should leave him, but it's not that simple. There are days I think about giving him another chance, and then there are days I want to just pack up and start over. So, the big cliffhanger here. I am lost. Reddit. I am torn between trying to salvage my marriage for the sake of our daughter and just ending it to find some peace. And then there is Jake, who has been nothing but kind and understanding. I do not want to jump into anything new while I am still so tangled up in my current situation. Christmas is just around the corner, and I have no idea how I am going to face it with all this going on. Do I spend it with a husband I cannot trust? Do I go it alone with my daughter? Do I invite Jake and open that can of worms? I need some perspective. Reddit. Am I wrong for considering leaving my husband? For talking to Jake? Is there a right answer here? Thanks for listening. Any advice or thoughts are welcome. I feel like I am at a crossroads, and I do not know which way to turn. Here were the top comments. So he was down by finding out that he was mistaken, and you did not actually get pregnant with someone else's child. Tough luck, fella. He owes you a massive apology. Or 3. Sorry about your husband and in-laws. The fact he did not grovel and apologize profusely but instead yelled at her because he is a moron is just too much. The fact he did not take 2 minutes to Google can babies be born with light hair and eyes that turn brown later instead of running off to mommy for 3 fucking weeks is a bit much, too. He does not want the baby. He was hoping to get out of this entirely by finding he was not the parent, and now he is pissed off that his little plot did not work. You see how he found the news out and still fucked off to his mommy's house. That's still his baby home alone with its mother, and he's not there because he doesn't want to be. Simple as that. They are determined to break up. First, she was a cheating slut. Then when it was literally proven she was not, she's still the asshole in the situation. Nah, fuck these people. What a turn off. I am not sure I could stay married to the guy if I was op. I'd be fine. Stay at your mom's because you can't come back here. Ever. Source. AITA for telling my husband I told you so and laughing at me when we got the paternity test results.